No makeup.
Nuns.
Price line negotiator. Hello, people.
Hi,
I'm Danny.
I'm Jade.
You may notice that we look a little different today. No makeup. Bumming. There's a reason for this. Today we're gonna vent.
Real hard.
Real hard. A couple weeks ago, Jade and I did this thing in our city called the AdVENTure Hunt. And we thought, oh, that would be so much fun. Explore our city, do cool things. But boy, were we wrong.
So wrong.
It was probably one of the worst ways to ever spend a Saturday.
Agreed.
And it was not a good experience.
It went from us being so excited, like we couldn't even contain ourselves, to literally hating life.
I wish we would have taken a picture of our faces after we were done. We were so miserable.
Done. Absolutely done.
So we decided, and we know that a lot of our friends who follow us on Instagram and Facebook, they were following along with it. They're like, oh, that was so much fun. But now here comes the truth. So we made a list of pro and cons, because right now we only have one pro. And we sat down here for like a good 15-20 minutes trying to figure it out, but we have one pro. So we're going to kind of go through this and kind of go over our experience, and we may have some clips that we can kind of throw in of what we did, but most of them are us, I think, in the beginning when we were still young and naive.
And excited.
Yeah. So we're going to just take turns and go through our list. I think the pro, I guess we should kind of explain how it works.
Yeah.
So it pretty much is, and AdVENTure Hunt is a company that does scavenger hunts in numerous cities around the U.S. I don't know if they do it out of the country, but I know they have quite a bit of cities in the U.S. and they divide it up into regions. So 2 or 3 cities will go on the same day. So the day of your challenge, they release a list, and it's a challenge list where you have to complete certain challenges throughout your city before they will actually release your AdVENTure Hunt map with the clues and all of that stuff to lead you to the treasure. And this year's treasure was a free trip for you and your teammate, teams of 2, to Panama. And I guess there's like a grand finale AdVENTure Hunt once you get to Panama, but it's pretty much a free, all expenses paid minus airfare to Panama. So the adventure list is mixed between adventure points and
Fun points.
The adventure points were
the more adventurous things that you would do, things you'd have to do outside or that required some sort of natural feature like a body of water. And then you had the fun points, which were silly things that you could do anywhere, so you didn't have to be in a specific place. A lot of the adventure points or adventure challenges were worth more than the fun ones, or they had more adventure points than fun points. So you really had to decide out of, I don't know, there were maybe 50 things on the list.
Maybe, yeah, probably.
How to get 20 points.
10 of each. By doing the least amount of activities. Because it's really based on time. You want to be the first one to the treasure. And some of the adventure challenges had combinations of both adventure points and fun points, but most of the fun activities were just like 1 or 2 fun points. So, and one of the things that they tell you to do before you even begin your adventure is to read the FAQs, the frequently asked questions. And I think one of the main questions is do any of these activities cost? And the Adventure Hunt people said that there's a good mixture of free activities and non-free activities, and that will kind of lead into our cons.
There's some fine print on
that they don't reveal.
And
that would lead us into our first con.
Of many. First.
This is our pros, these are our cons, and this list is not inclusive.
I don't even know if it's complete. Yeah, there are probably 6 things we're missing from this list.
But in the sake of time, we cut it down to 7.
If it stays that way.
Yeah. So, as Jade mentioned earlier, the hidden cost. So, when you're doing these challenges, like she said, there's fun and adventure ones. And the adventure ones, of course, were worth more points, but the ones that were worth more points, you had to spend money on. Surprise. When you sign up for this challenge, they have different levels of entrance fees. Of course, us being cheap, we decided to do the cheapest one, and me being even cheaper, I decided to find a coupon.
Heyo.
So I found a coupon, and I think it went from, you could either pay $44 up to almost $100 in entrance fee, and of course the more you pay, the more free stuff you get as like your adventure bag. Ours was $35 a piece, so right now we're at $35. So we spent that money buying our entrance fee, and we got a free kind of like bag. And you have to use that bag when you're completing your challenge. You have to like shake it, show it off, and yell Adventure Hunt. So we thought that was all the money that we were going to have to spend. So we're doing these challenges, of course, because for the sake of time, we wanted to complete least amount of activities in the least amount of time so we can get our list and move on to the treasure. Little did we know that in order to do that, we had to spend mad money.
Almost $200.
So we did the math. So aside from our entrance fee, in order to do some of the activities in town, we ended up spending $182 extra. That's another thing. They don't tell you what to expect, because they don't release anything until 9:00 a.m. of the morning of your hunt. So all we know is they say to bring a bathing suit, change of clothes, and some snacks.
And a shovel.
So there's still a shovel in the trunk of my car.
There is.
There's still a shovel. So we packed our snacks, we packed our change of clothes, and we packed
food, and what else we packed?
I think that's it. Yeah, the shovel. Because you needed the shovel if you were first to dig out the treasure.
Right.
So that will bring us into our second con.
So this hunt took place all over the city, and when I say the city, I really mean outside the city limits as well. It would have been so much easier if they had kept
centralized
the challenges, the clues all within the city limits. But the way our city is set up, we were crossing major points all day. We spent, I don't even know how much time in traffic.
I think we spent most of the time in traffic.
Yeah.
Within the app, they give you're allowed to pay for, there's in-app purchases where you can pay for clues. I think there's levels. You can pay for a picture of the next, like you can pay for a picture that will show you the location. You can get a video of the location. You can pay to skip the location, or you can pay to just tell me where it is. Now, skipping a location, you can only do one per team. And then tell me where it is. I think you can only twice per team. But the picture and the video, you can get as many as you want. So
the fact of it not being thought out well, like the fact of having to cross the city several times in traffic all day took a huge toll on us. But another part of that was when the adventure hunt challenges were pushed out to us at 9 a.m. on that Saturday, the very first clue said, "We suggest you start here."
We were 45 minutes from that location. There was no way that we were going to start there.
There was no way that we would have known to start there or even close to there, because there are so many points of interest in our city.
I happened to live close to one of the landmarks that was on the list, so we decided to start there and then go over to the location that we started.
But the people who either, I guess, were maybe lucky in guessing that was the place to start, maybe did it before, or just happened to live close to that area, they already had an advantage to the rest of us who are coming from all over the city and having to fight traffic and having to fight long commutes just to get to the place. So that was very unfair. The fact that there wasn't one central starting point that every team knew. They didn't say, okay, at 9 a.m. you need to be at this place, and that's where you're going to start.
Which I think would have been, I think would have been better too, because it gives everybody, everybody's paying money to enter into this and have a good time. And I'm not going to say we did not have a good time, but I can tell you that our time, the good time that we had was like from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. Yeah. And then it just ended.
That was it.
So like Jade was saying, there was a lot of teams that had advantages over other teams. And I think one of the things is, the Adventure Hunt has a Facebook group for each city during the day of your Adventure Hunt. So, and they tell you to follow their page, their Instagram and their Facebook, so you can keep a track, just in case if the app quits working, they can update you there. So throughout the day, we're checking Facebook, checking all the updates, And then, as we're 6 hours into this hunt, we're getting miserable trying to find some clues. We go on the Facebook group and we noticed that a lot of the teams the night before, like 11 p.m., 10 p.m., the night before anything was even released, these teams are talking to each other saying, hey, who wants to meet here? Who wants to meet here? And by the time we figure that out, we're like, how did you even know that there were going to be team activities to where you would need to meet with the other team? So I feel like some teams have maybe done this before and maybe Adventure Hunt hasn't switched it up. Or, maybe some teams are just lucky. But I feel like when you're paying for something as like a city competing for one prize, there needs to be a little bit more centralized
fairness.
Rules that everybody can follow, and not some teams have a greater advantage than other teams. I didn't spend that much money to not have a fighting chance because I'm very competitive.
Exactly, same. So another thing that's really weird about the way the whole thing was set up, is that on their official rules, and I pulled it up and screenshot it, and I will post it on the video, it says rules are subject to change with updates to website. Stay on top of things. So they say at any time during the hunt they can change the rules. And there are a couple other hints to that in their FAQs and how it works and all of that, and them saying, oh, we might accept this if you do this way, not a hard and fast, this is either a yes or a no. So that was kind of weird too,
because we did see some teams cheating.
Yeah.
And we listen, I know snitches get stitches, but listen, I paid to compete. So my butt was definitely telling Adventure Hunt people, listen, these rules are set in stone. These are rules that you have not changed, and these people need to follow the rules. Mm-hmm. But what sucks about the whole thing is, once the treasure is found, everybody gets the clues.
Yeah.
It did at a certain point. It didn't even matter because the clues were somebody had already found the treasure, so everybody got the clues, whether you finished the adventure list or not. Because once you finish the adventure list, you have to submit it and then wait 15 minutes. So if you didn't finish your adventure list and you didn't spend as much money, you can get the clues and still finish like top 10, whereas we've already paid $200 and could get stuck and finish like top
we were like
50.
34.
I think there was 116 teams and we finished 35. And so, we didn't, not terribly, top 3%.
To me, it wasn't worth it.
No.
At the end of the day, it wasn't worth it. There were so many things that were part of the challenges list that I would have just liked to do on a Saturday, take a couple of hours and enjoy it. But because we're on such time constraints and that we wanted to try and get them done and go and get the treasure, whatever,
we spent all that money and we didn't even get to enjoy the experience.
We didn't even get to enjoy it. And that's probably for me the most frustrating part, is that I would have had so much fun doing this activity or this activity, but the fact that we had to rush through it just to make all of our adventure points or
and
whatever,
to be competitive.
And the fact that we spent money on top of that, it was just like it wasn't worth it to me.
Yeah.
So if you see the adventure hunt coming up on your social media, you hear people talking about it, we did find that there weren't a lot of reviews online.
I feel like they kind of censor the reviews, and we in no way want this to be a complete bash on the company, because overall it's a good idea, and I'm not saying that we didn't have fun. We had pockets of fun, but what we're trying to get across is just kind of take our review with a grain of salt. Do your research.
Better.
Yeah, do it better.
Do it, adventure hunt people. There are so many ways that this could have been done better. Take it from people who spend plenty of money doing this activity and trying to make it fun.
And leave us comments, ask us questions. We'll be honest.
We'll be honest.
And we're not bashing them in any way, but we're just talking about our experience.
Honest,
And I think if we want to leave it on a positive note, I will say that, along with what Jade was saying, even though we didn't get to spend time at some of these places that we would, normally have spent a couple hours at, now we at least know there are places in the city that we want to go to and spend time. So I will say that it did open up some places that we can go to and have some fun without the adventure hunt being involved.
Right.
So we have already planned to go back to some of these places. So I will leave it on that positive note. I guess now we know. Would we ever do it again? No. but at least we lived and we learned, and we had pockets of fun.
Right.
So leave us a comment if you have questions. If you've done it before, what was your experience like?
Please let
us know. Or if you know something else that's better that we can maybe try, because we do want to explore our city, let us know. So like, comment, subscribe, of course, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.